Well, tensions between the two are nothing new, but this latest rift likely to leave a hole in the kingdom's pocket at a time when weakened oil prices are already stretching it thin.
It affects their tourism more specifically, but also it affects this broader market in terms of what we expect for oil. We'd been looking at a period where it looked like the Iranians were coming back up to top production for oil, and there was some talk that they might get together and look at cuts or look at least a freeze. And now that looks less likely than it might have before.
Well, the Hajj is big business for the Saudi economy. Now, between the restaurants, the hotels, even the phone companies, the 10-day event brings in about $10 billion every single year. 100,000 Iranians attend the Hajj annually. Another 500,000 go for Umrah. That's a pilgrimage that can be done at any time of the year. But during Hajj, the average person spends around $5,000. When you do the math, that is $500 million that the Saudi government stands to lose from the absence of those Iranian pilgrims. Multiply that $5,000 figure to the Umrah visitors, assuming that they're going to be spending the same amount of money, and the loss spikes up to $2.5 billion. You add both of those pilgrimages together, and that is $3 billion left on the table. Going forward, experts say that the rising middle class here in Southeast Asia could perhaps offset some of Saudi Arabia's dependence on Iranian tourism.
The more income they have, the more likely they are to go to Saudi on these tourism visits. So really, that's the key. And we have to look at Indonesia. It's still a growing economy, and it's still getting a lot more, has a lot more income to do these type of things.
Now, Riyadh may have been able to bear this in any other year, but not this year. Oil makes up 40% of the Saudi economy, and the budget is already stretched thin because of oil prices hovering around $45 a barrel. GDP was just 1.5% in the first quarter of this year, as you can see here, much lower than what we saw in the final quarters of 2015. And the IMF only expecting growth this year to come in at over 1%. From the business desk, I'm Tony Waterman.